How's it going, guys? Today, I'm going to show you how to master your mindset so your mindset can no longer master you and create beliefs that cause breakthroughs. That's right. This session is absolutely for you. If you have that feeling that no matter what you try, you just can't seem to move past a certain point. You're so good at what you do, yet you're still carrying the weight of your past experiences, which is causing current anxiety and those feelings of defeat. You know what I'm talking about. You do good for a while with personal development, reading, seminars, podcasts, all the good stuff. But just like every time before, the negative thoughts eventually creep back in. And to start, they always start rippling. They start rippling. Those negative thoughts just start rippling again and again. And if you're like I was, everyone thinks that you're playing at 100%, but you make your 60% look amazing. But the thing is, you know it's not your full potential. The problem is that can only last so long before it fizzles out. My name is Quentin McCain, Coach Q for those of you who are already in my community. I've been blessed to be able to say that I'm a master certified coach of neuro-linguistic programming, also known as NLP, hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, and life coaching. I've also had the pleasure of traveling and sharing my message of mastering your mindset and habits, as well as writing a #1 best-selling book, Think on These Things, alongside my co-author and mother, yes, I said mom, E. Marie Hall. But things weren't always sunshine and rainbows. Do you remember being 18 years old? Yeah, you. I do. I remember wearing baggy pants and hoop earrings, the small ones, don't judge. I also remember getting in an argument with my then girlfriend and storming out upset. I wanted to take the long way home this time. I wanted to clear my mind. You ever had that happen, by the way? Just needed to clear your mind. I leaned my seat back. I turned on some smooth R&B. Remember when you can understand song lyrics? Yeah, it was those times. I had the window down. I had the breeze brushing against my face. I was relaxed until, boom, I woke up to a rumble, something that shook my whole world. I had crashed into something solid, something strong and immovable. I ran into the new and improved me. Just kidding. It was a light pole. All right, it was a light pole. I had fallen asleep at the wheel and ran into a light pole, y'all. How many of you right now, though, are sleeping in your business right now? Sleeping through your relationship. Sleepwalking through life. A man in a nearby business ran out and asked if I can get out of my car. I tried to move, but I realized that I couldn't. My leg was broken and I couldn't move. Also, my door was jammed. I was trying to get out of the door and it was jammed. I couldn't get out. The cops arrived on the scene first, okay? You been smoking? Hold on, what? I don't even smoke. What are you talking about? Have you been drinking? Sir, no, I just felt I haven't been drinking anything. Have you been doing any other Can't a man just comfortably fall asleep in his own car? The answer is no, by the way. Can't do that. Finally, after that well-intentioned officer was done interrogating me, the ambulance came. Okay, good thing though, because my adrenaline was wearing off. It was through the roof at first. I didn't feel anything. My adrenaline was wearing off and my leg began to hurt. So they rushed me off to the hospital. I had to have emergency surgery. And when I got there, I found out I had broken my right femur, which is the hardest bone to break in your body. I had broken it in half, which needed a metal rod placed. I had chipped my right hip, bruised my liver, and fractured 3 ribs on the left side. The ribs that were fractured, they punctured my lung. The crazy thing is, though, out of all of that, the crazy thing is, I now realize that I not only fell asleep at the wheel that night, but I was sleeping through life. I'll say that again, because I know somebody feels me. I was sleeping through life. Now, you may not have fallen asleep at the wheel of a vehicle, but in what areas do you need to wake up? I'll let that sink in for a sec. For what areas do you need to wake up? Ask yourself that question. You may not have been hurt physically either. You may not have been hurt physically, but what are you allowing to stop you from living the life you deserve? It's another question for you. Everything starts with your beliefs. I'll say it again. Everything starts with your beliefs. Beliefs are those things that you hold as true, those things that we have developed from our environment, our parents, our teachers, other influential people in our lives, past experience, etc. The list goes on. I want you to write this down. There are 3 stages to belief development, okay? 3 stages to belief development. The first stage of belief development is called the imprinting stage, okay? The imprinting stage. So in the imprinting stage, this is where your ages 0 to 7, okay? And at the imprinting stage, you are soaking up everything in your environment. You're soaking up everything in your environment. You ever hear people say kids are like sponges? It's true, because that age 0 to 7, you are imprinting in your brain. All of these connections, all of these neural connections, these synaptic connections. You actually, during this time, create about 20 billion neural connections. That's how many are created during this imprinting stage of 0 to 7. A lot of times, even negative emotions are held here from the ages 0 to 7. When you first, had, sadness, anger, any of these emotions, sometimes they can follow you through life if you don't clear them up and don't deal with them correctly. The second stage is called the modeling stage. Now, the modeling stage is ages 7 to 14, okay? 7 to 14, that's the modeling stage. So in this stage, you find a person or multiple people to model, okay? You find a person or multiple people to model. And some experts say especially around the age of 10 years old. So that's very important as well in our development of habits and beliefs. Now, the third stage is the socialization stage. The third stage is where, first of all, your age is 14 to 21. And during the socialization stage, this is where you actually begin to take your beliefs and take your behavior out into the real world and give it a whirl. This is where you take your beliefs and behavior and you try it out with real humans. Okay. There is a fourth stage of development in psychology, and this is the career stage or the business stage, where you find somebody to model in your jobs or careers. But we're just focusing on these 3 when it comes to belief development. Okay. So those are important because your beliefs affect everything. Can we say that again? Say everything. Those beliefs affect what? everything you do. They affect everything you do, and also everything that you perceive is happening, especially to you. We have a saying in the NLP community, in the neuro-linguistic programming community, and that is perception is projection. I'll say it again, and you can write that down. Perception is projection. Okay, that means that whatever your tightly held beliefs are, meaning what you perceive as right, wrong, true, false, good, bad, anything, you will project that onto everyone and everything that comes near you. Does that make sense to you guys? Does that make sense? You will project that onto everything and everyone that comes near you. Here's an example. So someone out there is listening to this right now and saying, I already know all that stuff. I've heard about the stages of development or NLP or whatever the case may be, right? They're saying that right now, I already know this stuff. By the way, never say the words, I know that. Those are 3 dangerous words. I know that. Take them out of your vocabulary, because as soon as you say the words, I know that, your brain automatically blocks out everything that comes after that, and you won't be able to learn anything new. Or maybe people right now are saying, nothing can get rid of my negative thoughts, negative emotions. Nothing can fix my anxiety, my depression, or they're saying, my life will never change. What is he talking about? My life will never change, right? And here's the thing. Your life can change, right? You can get rid of those negative thoughts. But the thing is, since we're talking about perception is projection, when someone holds those beliefs, their brain will project that belief onto everything they encounter. It's like having a negative belief-colored lens over their eyes so that everything they see is through a negative point of view. We all know someone like that, don't we? I mean, it might be a friend. It might be a family member, a spouse. If you can't think of anybody, it might be you. The good thing is that you can change this, okay? Like I said, you can change this, and drum roll, keep the change. One major issue, though, I'll say, with belief change is you have to ask yourself, how has my current beliefs and behavior benefited me up to this point? How have my current beliefs and behavior benefited me up to this point? I know this can seem like an odd question, and a lot of us do not want to face it, all right? But many times we have what we call secondary gains, okay? As to why we actually want to stay broke, why we want to stay single, why we want to stay with a nasty attitude towards others, towards life, towards ourselves, and even why we want to stay in chronic pain. That's right. So before eliminating any of those issues, and they all, I'll say it again, capital ALL, they all can be eliminated, we have to ask what our secondary gain may be. And we have to truly ask, are we ready to let it go? Once the answer is yes, then and only then can we try these things, okay? This is how you change and keep the change. Number 1, write these down. I'm going to give you 3 of them. Number 1 is watch your words. We've heard it all before. Words are powerful. Words have power. They really do. And every word you speak gives you an image in your mind. This is on the neuroscience level. Every word that you speak gives you an image, even if it's a millisecond of a millisecond and you don't even realize it consciously, which is most often what happens. We don't consciously see the images. They happen so quick in our brains. But every word you speak gives you an image. And that image, since our brain works in pictures, affects us emotionally. I'll say that again. That image, through words that we speak, affects us emotionally. So imagine when you've come across people and you ask them, say, oh, how you doing? You know, how are things going? And they say, oh man, um, just trying to keep my head above water, right? Think about that. What kind of image do you think that kind of metaphor is giving you? Just trying to keep my head above water. Like, think about that for a sec. You're like up here drowning, lips up, trying to breathe. No, those kind of things affect us. All right. So watch your words. Words have power. Number 2 is going to be repetition. The unconscious mind loves repetition. Okay, it loves repetition. The reason it loves repetition is because how our brains work is to preserve energy. We want to do repetition in order to make things into habits. Okay, because once something's a habit, you don't have to consciously think about it. You do it on the automatic, right? So that's preserving energy. So the mind wants repetition so that it doesn't have to consciously think about everything that it's doing in daily life, right? So repetition, just how you can get into anxiety, depression, all of these things by repetition of saying, my life sucks, I'm nothing, I'm worthless, I'm ugly, I'm fat. Imagine when you get into these modes, how many years are you saying these things before anxiety hits, depression hits, or whatever the case may be? You're saying them over and over and over again until it becomes an unconscious pattern. So the good thing is we can also do that for the positive. So repetition. Once you have something that you're holding on to positive, some goals, for example, things that you're aspiring to doing, good things that you're already doing in your life, you want to start repeating these things. I'm talking about repeating the words, creating repetition with those good positive affirmations that are emotion filled, not just saying things in your head, but filled with emotion, and repeating them and repeating the good things that you do, repeating those little successes as well. That's all repetition. All right. And that's how you're going to keep the change. The third one, and most importantly, is action. We cannot have a list of to-dos without action on it. But what I want to talk more about is taking immediate action. When you feel something, I know a lot of people, you go to like motivational seminars, summits like this one, and everything's so good. There's so many good speakers. There's so much good content. But at the end of the day, you feel good, but what happens? You go home and you do the same thing that you've been doing, right? You do the same thing that you've been doing. So you have to take action immediately, meaning you get something that kind of moves you from this speech right here, you take action, you write it down, you go ahead and put something on your calendar for when you're going to start doing this thing, or you start immediately. Any action that you can take that's going to move you toward what you're trying to do it immediately, because there's something called the law of diminishing intent. And that law of diminishing intent says that the longer you take to do a thing, the longer you take to take action on something, the least likely it is that you'll do it. And we all know that's true. We say we're going to do something, but then a day goes by, 3 days goes by, a week goes by, a month goes by, and you're like, yeah, I did want to do that. That's the law of diminishing intent at work. All right. So those are the 3. So I'll repeat them for you. We got watch your words, okay? We got repetition, and then we have action, taking immediate action. With all my broken bones and punctured lung in the hospital, I felt defeated. I was weak in body and mind, to be honest. Not being able to do things on my own, and the doctor telling me I would always walk with a limp because of, how bad the break was in my leg. That messed with my mind, it messed with my mind. The negative thoughts, they just started to spiral, and, it just got deeper and deeper into the negative thoughts. You know how that can be. I'll never be the same. What are some of those other negative thoughts that I would think? People will look at me funny. My life is over. But guess what? I shifted my thoughts. I shifted my thoughts. And I don't even walk with a limp, if you believe that. I really don't. So what I want to tell you is no one, and I'm going to say this again, no one can determine your outcome. You know, you can listen, take it with a grain of salt. You know, even doctors sometimes, you know, they're human just like us. He said I'd always walk with a limp. I'm sure through his training and what he saw on, you know, x-rays and all these things probably told him, you know, that's probably what's going to happen. But no one can determine your outcome but you. Because I told myself I'm not walking with a limp. And I don't. I know without a doubt, okay, I'm saying this without a doubt in my heart, that with these things that I've shared with you today, you can create beliefs that cause breakthroughs. And I know you're tired of playing small, tired of being left behind, ready to elevate your life and prove to yourself that it's your time. So I want to help you and give you something super valuable, okay? So what I want you to do is go to my website, QuentinMcCain.com. That's QuentinMcCain.com, and download the Ultimate Breakthrough Guide, the UBT Guide. It's free, guys, so it's a no-brainer, all right? This will go even deeper into some of the concepts that I help my one-on-one clients with, and it just simply works, and I'm giving it to you for free, all right? So I want you to take advantage of that, you know, and, you know, if you're someone who just really wants to skyrocket your results to the next level and just like really take off from where you're at right now, send me a message. Email me, send me a message, and let's chat and let's just see what your next level looks like, all right? Here's the thing. You don't have to do any of this. You really don't. You don't have to do any of this. You can do what you've always done. You can get what you've always got. But here's the thing. I once heard Jim Rohn say, the late, great Jim Rohn, what's easy to do is also easy not to do. So the choice is yours. Let's get together and create beliefs that cause breakthroughs. Let's get it, y'all.